We can't escape the conversations happening around us. Many teen boys are struggling with loneliness, confidence, and knowing where their value comes from. In a world that can feel increasingly disconnected and quick to judge, it's easy for our sons to begin measuring themselves by what they accomplish or where they fall short. But their worth is so much greater than what they can do. Today, we're talking about how we can help our sons recognize their value, build confidence in who they are, and understand that their worth was never meant to be earned. Welcome to Raising Boys with Purpose, a Christian parenting podcast for moms raising teens and young adult sons. I'm Brooke, a boy mom and parenting coach, and here we talk about raising sons, building character, and preparing our boys for adulthood with confidence and faith. For more encouragement and conversation throughout the week, come join our Raising Boys with Purpose Facebook group. The link for all my social media is in the description. We all know the boys who seem to have it all. They're smart, athletic, well-liked, and seem confident. Everyone assumes they move through life with ease and very few doubts. But what's going on inside, where it really counts? And then there are the boys who have learned to avoid anything that might expose their weaknesses. They don't want to try something new or put themselves in uncomfortable situations because they're afraid of failing or embarrassing themselves. They may look very different on the outside, but both can struggle with the same question. Am I valuable even when I don't succeed? We love our sons and we want them to know their value. So how do we help them develop a sense of self-worth that isn't dependent on what they accomplish or how other people see them? I often work with high school students and adults who are trying to improve their career opportunities. The high school students are getting ready to graduate, and many of them are filled with uncertainty about the future. They're trying to figure out what comes next and whether they're prepared to handle it. The adults I work with come from different backgrounds, ages, and levels of education. They usually want more than just another job. They want to move forward into a career. But they need help deciding what that might look like and how they're going to get there. Even though their ages and circumstances are different, I've noticed a common thread. So much of how they see themselves can be tied to what they accomplish. And when they don't feel successful, sometimes they begin to question their own value. So what exactly is self-worth? We sometimes use self-worth and self-esteem interchangeably, but there is an important difference. Self-esteem can be influenced by our abilities, accomplishments, or how we feel about ourselves in a particular area. Self-worth goes deeper. It's knowing that you have value as a person, whether you succeed or fail. It's about who you are, not simply what you do. As parents, one of the ways we help our sons understand their self-worth is by loving them unconditionally. That doesn't mean we think they're perfect or that we approve of every decision they make. It means our love for them isn't dependent on their performance. When they succeed, we celebrate with them. When they develop skills and accomplish something they've worked toward, we're proud of them. But when they struggle or fail, our love doesn't disappear. Our goal is to make that clear through the consistency of our love and affection, no matter what circumstances they're facing. This also means being intentional about what we notice and praise. Of course, we can celebrate the good grade, the winning game, the new job, or the accomplishment they've worked toward. But we don't want those things to become the only thing we notice. We can also recognize the hard work and persistence that helped them get there. Maybe we notice when they make a responsible decision, when they keep going after something becomes difficult, or when they show kindness to someone else. Those are opportunities to let them know, I see who you are, not just what you accomplish. And sometimes their choices will be good ones. Other times, they're going to make mistakes. That's part of growing up. They need opportunities to work hard and still sometimes fail, just like they need opportunities to solve problems and discover that they can succeed. Through both experiences, our response matters. When our support and love remains consistent through the successes and the failures, we're helping them understand that their value as a person isn't based only on their ability to perform. This is something I've noticed with some of the high school students and adults I work with. They may look at their grades or how much money they make and use those things as a measurement of their worth. If their grades aren't good enough, they feel less than. If they aren't making enough money or haven't reached the career level they expected, they begin to feel like they aren't successful. But what surprises me is how often they overlook all the other things that say something important about who they are. They may not consider the fact that they kept going during a difficult season, that they help their family when someone needs them, or that they show kindness to other people. They don't always recognize the character they've developed through the difficult circumstances they faced. And I think that's something we need to remember with our sons too. If we only recognize the obvious accomplishments, they may begin to believe those accomplishments are what make them valuable. We have an opportunity to help them see the things in themselves that might not come with an award, a grade, or a paycheck. Now, it's normal for our sons to feel frustrated or disappointed when things don't go the way they planned. We don't have to immediately talk them out of those feelings or try to make everything better. Instead, we can help them understand that disappointment is part of life. A setback doesn't determine their value. It doesn't have to determine what happens next. We can encourage them to keep working toward their goals, learn from what happened, and try again. And while they're doing that, they know we're there to support them along the way. But as important as our love and support are to our sons, there's something even more important for them to understand. Their ultimate value doesn't come from us. It comes from God. Luke 12:6-7 tells us, "Even the hairs on your head are numbered. Fear not, you are of more value than many sparrows." I love the picture that it gives us. God knows our sons completely. He pays attention to even the smallest details of their lives. Their value to Him doesn't increase when they make the team, get the scholarship, earn the degree, or land the great job. And their value doesn't disappear when they fail. Their worth is rooted in something much deeper than any accomplishment. So I want you to think about your own son for a minute. How do you show him that you value him for who he is, not just for what he does? What do you notice about him that has nothing to do with grades, sports, money, awards, or accomplishments? Maybe it's his kindness or loyalty. Maybe it's his willingness to keep trying when something is difficult. Maybe it's the way he makes people laugh or the way he helps someone without being asked. Or maybe you can simply see the person God is shaping him to become. Does your son know that you see those things in him? And more importantly, does he understand that his worth doesn't have to be earned? As moms, it's easy to wonder whether we're doing enough, especially when we realize our sons may be struggling with how they see themselves. We want to say the right things and help them see all the good things that we can see in them. But we don't have to have the perfect words or somehow convince them overnight that they're valuable. We can keep showing them through our words, our actions, and even the way we respond when things don't go well. We can remind them that our love isn't based on their accomplishments, while helping them recognize the character, persistence, and growth that may be harder for them to see in themselves. And most importantly, we can continue pointing them to God and reminding them that He knows them completely and loves them deeply. Our sons are going to experience successes and failures. There will be seasons when they feel confident and seasons when they question themselves. We can't prevent all those difficult seasons, but we can give them a strong foundation to come back to. Their value is not determined by what they accomplish. Their worth is rooted in who God created them to be. And as we continue loving them, encouraging them, and pointing them to the truth, we help prepare our sons for adulthood, knowing that their value goes far beyond what they can achieve. If this episode of Raising Boys with Purpose encouraged you, please like this video and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes of this podcast. And if you're raising a teen or young adult son and want encouragement and practical guidance, come join us in the Raising Boys with Purpose Facebook community. The link is below. Thanks for being here today. Now grab your iced coffee, hug your son, and remember, you're raising him with purpose.